Confidence is about how you see yourself. Welcome to the Uniquely Confident Podcast.
Yo. Positive energy and good vibrations from me to you. Yo, it's your boy RJD, and yes, this is another dope episode of the Uniquely Confident Podcast. Yeah, I know I stay excited. I'm always excited, but tonight I'm even more excited because I got a homie with me that I cannot wait to dive into a great conversation with, man. So you guys know around here, we have some protocol that we must follow. We got to talk to the big man upstairs, and then we got to pay a sponsor or two. So with that being said, dear God, we thank you for another day. We thank you for our life, our health, our strength, our abilities, and our disabilities. God, we're grateful for everything because we know it works together for our good. Right now, we ask you, God, for the grace and space to go across these airwaves, that we may be a blessing and encouragement, and then also an inspiration to a man out there that uplift their character and their confidence. These things we do pray in the matchless name. Amen.
Amen.
Now, on this good, beautiful podcast, we have a wonderful sponsor who has been around for about a year now. Those guys over at It's Now or Never Entertainment for all your music needs, whether it be hip hop, gospel, R&B, neo soul, you name it. Fantastic producers over there, and they do phenomenal work. If you have a project in your head that you're looking to make come out and bring it to life, I've watched a man hear somebody hum a project and turn it into a complete ensemble. So listen, if you have any music needs, go over there, check them out, and use the word unique. You'll get 50% off on any beat in the catalog. Pretty extensive catalog, I must say, too. So go over there, shop smart, shop black, shop It's Now or Never ENT, and let them know that we sent you from the Uniquely Confident Podcast. Now, those things are out the way. I'm super excited. I got my man Joe on the line. Yo, Joe, what it do, King? How you feeling, man?
I feel amazing, brother. How you feeling?
Blessed and still breathing, man. So that means, like I told you before, God is still working. You know what I mean? As long as we're still above the ground.
Definitely.
Yo, so really quick, man, let the people know out there who you are and where you're from, man. What you do?
Yeah. So my name is Joe. Or if you know me, like we were talking beforehand, it's Joevan, but I go by Joe. What I do? I do some of everything, but my main thing is helping individuals who experience traumatic situations or traumatic life problems. I help them find clarity on how to get to the next level of their lives. So whatever you may be going through, whatever you've gone through, one, we all have a story. Two, you aren't in alone. And three, you're not the only person that's going through it. I'm originally from Syracuse, New York, born and raised by way of Charlotte, North Carolina, by way of Atlanta, Georgia, currently.
Yeah, I didn't know you from the crib, kid, Syracuse.
Yeah.
What's up?
Yes, sir.
That's what's up. I'm from Long Island, New York. So, but they're still in the house. You know what I mean?
Joe, y'all call us country, but it's all good,
Yeah, yo, listen, because up there, listen, y'all got barely in these stores, and y'all stay getting snowed in, kid. Like I went up there 2 times for a tournament, and the first time I had to pull my way from the dorm to the actual room on a rope, like because the snow was so high.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, so y'all definitely get a different part of New York, man. But it's dope to know, man. I'm glad to see you from the crib. And it's dope that you it fits in exactly what you do tonight's conversation. We're gonna speak about your subconscious. Is it working for you or against you? And then we're gonna talk about how that plays into our life and how those things either hold us back or take us further. Mm-hmm. And my first question to you, bro, like being that this podcast is about men's character and confidence development, when you hear the word confidence, what do you think? Like, what are your first words when you hear the word confidence?
I hear security. I hear, someone who's secure themselves, and also people find security in them.
Right. That's something very important that like I haven't really heard too many people speak about when we talk about confidence, about giving confidence to someone or someone having confidence in you. Yeah. That's big. So yeah, the reason I asked that is because everyone has their own outlook on confidence, right?
Yeah.
And this is why the name of the podcast is Uniquely Confident, because each and every one of us has our own unique level of confidence or lack thereof, depending on what you've been through, like you dealing with traumas and all those things. So now my next question to you is, when it comes down to your character, how important is that to you think to a man, character development?
I believe that's like one of the top things that men should have is character. I believe that because it defines you as a man, and it also defines you as a human being. Ooh. And it also defines you as a leader as well, because if you have character, that means trust follows right behind character.
Facts.
So if I know RJ's character is upstanding, he may have made a mistake, I know that's out of his character. If it was an intentional thing versus an unintentional thing.
Right.
So it's just character is the most important thing that a man can have because one, if he's a family guy, that means that his family is taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
If he's a working guy, that means his character speaks for itself in the working area.
Correct.
If he's an entrepreneur, it speaks for himself when he's trying to sell himself to other individuals. Character is not a thing that just works in one space. It's something that has to carry over in every aspect of your life. It's like you can't just have character at home, but you're on the streets wilding out. Like that character has to follow you everywhere you go.
Absolutely. And that's I heard the late great Miles Monroe say, character is the reason why we call A, B, and C characters is because A is always gonna be A. Right, like B is always gonna be B. Like you're never gonna walk up on an A and hear A acting like C, right? Like you're never gonna find those things changing. So, like when I think about characters, like it's like you said, it's a definition of not just a man, right? Because women have character as well. Like it's a definition of the human being. That's big, bro. What were you saying just now?
No, I was agreeing with you.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, because like when you said that too about the human being, bro, like I know we're geared towards, especially working towards men, but I always say to myself, wow, like women have character too. Like that's something that's universal. It's not just for quote unquote men and whatnot, because at the end of the day, we've seen some wonderful characters in women, and we've also seen some flawed characters in women. So it goes both ways on that one.
Absolutely, for sure. Yeah.
So now my next question for you, and these questions I ask normally everybody, these three basic questions: where does your confidence come from? Right? Like where does your unique level of confidence come from for you to go out and do the thing that you do? Because you're out here moving and shaking in this world, and you're in entrepreneurial space amongst some high power entrepreneurs. So how do you have the confidence to be around this space and operate as well as you do?
So it took some time to get here, for sure, because when you jump into a space, I'll tell a story I shared a few weeks back. I was in a room full of 6 and 7 figure earners. And at the time, I was making $10.15 an hour. Imagine the feeling as a man in that room.
Word.
You're the only guy, the only person in there. But the women do not take this any type of way. Guys can take it any type of way before. This is my disclaimer. But as a man, being in a room where there's women who are killing it, and it just changes your whole perspective on women. It changed my whole perspective. Like, yo, women are freaking beast.
Yes.
Heavy. And it's just not, women aren't just beasts at home. It's like beast. Women are beasts like everywhere, business, home, relationships. And I'm like, yo, it just changed my whole perspective because, as men in our generation, we're raised to say, the man has to be the breadwinner. The man, he got to make the most money. He got to protect, provide. Everything, like from A to Z, the man had to take care of it. And when I was in that room, I had another awakening, which was, yo, it doesn't matter your sex. The money's out there.
Right.
You just got to be dog enough to go out there and go and get it.
Right.
So my confidence right at that moment was shot. I'm like, yo, I'm in here. I have no value to offer. At the time, I'm thinking, I don't have any value to offer. I don't have anything that I can offer you all because I make $10 an hour. Y'all making 6 and 7 figures. What do I have to offer y'all?
Right.
But it came to the point where I realized, yo, you're in this room for a reason. You got to figure out what the reason that you keep getting put in these rooms. Right. It wasn't like that was the first time. That was another instant. But it was this story I remember where I'm in the room and they're like, yo, you have to get comfortable in being in these rooms and in these spaces because this is now your life. And when I realized, okay, this is not my life, I got to get comfortable being here. I got to get more confident in speaking up when they say, yo, Joe, what do you think about this? Right. Instead of saying, well. And instead of saying, stuttering over the time, it's like, I think you should do it this way because in my process, the way I see things, the way I maneuver, or people who are still on the playing field that I'm at, trying to get to where you all at, this is how you speak to them. So it's like, now that I realize that where I am, I'm deserving to be in there. I'm supposed to be in there. My confidence is skyrocketed.
Deserving to be in there.
I no longer
deserve to be there.
Yeah, I deserve to be here. Like nobody gets placed in the room. Nobody gets placed in a place and they don't deserve to be there.
Exactly.
There's a reason behind every reason that you're in the space that you're in. There's a reason behind the person that you date. There's a reason behind the room that you enter. There's a reason behind the accident that you may have gotten into. There's a reason behind everything. You got to find that reason. You got to find that reason confidently. And that's what happened with me was I had to confidently find that reason for me being in that space. And it took some time to get there because it's like you still feel like that imposter syndrome kicks in, like, yo, you don't deserve to be here. This is not the space. You're not
right.
You don't make 6 figures. You don't make 7 figures. You're barely even touching over 40K a year.
Right.
So it's like,
and yo, J-Ho, I'm so glad you just said that, because this right here is about to just like, it might derail the conversation, but I don't care, because this right here is something that needs to be spoke about. Yo, as two men that literally are pulling themselves out of that bracket of the 40K a year man, right? Like, all the stuff that I've been hearing going on, bro, how that man is spoke about. Like, how do you feel, bro? Like, as being that man at one time, and knowing what you was doing everything in your possible power just to stay afloat and do everything that you knew to do in your power. How does it make you feel to hear how society speaks about us? Like, the ones that are doing the right things and just cutting even at 40,000.
Yeah, man. That's a great question. So it's more so I hate it because it puts us in this really weird space that we feel like we have to go out and make ends meet. It's all on our backs. And what happens is when we get ourselves into relationships with whomever we decide to be with, we take that ego into that relationship.
Right.
And when we take that ego into that relationship, it causes a lot of friction because we can't really truly get to understand our mate. Our mate can't truly understand us because society's putting us on, we have to make, we gotta work. And they're drilling it into us left and right. Like we as men gotta be breadwinners. And it came over time, like, yo, I'm cool if my chick make more money than me. I'm that confident, secure in myself because there's something that she saw in me that she didn't see in 1,000 other men.
Right.
So it's like, as men, we have to be so confident, secure in ourselves that regardless of where we are in the totem pole of our finances, as long as we're making strides to become better, as long as we're making strides to make more money, as long as we're making strides to say, you know what, I'm secure in who I am right now. I'm secure in this space of the 40K, the 30K. But it goes back to what you talked about earlier. My character precedes me.
Right.
My character goes before me, my character goes before my paycheck. My character goes before my wife, my husband, whichever way it may be. My character is out there. I put it into the atmosphere, into the universe, and my character is going to speak for me, before me.
Right.
And it's just, we as men got to stop letting society really bog us down with what we got to make or what we're trying to make or how much we're going to make. And we got to get secure and having these conversations with our significant others, having these conversations with our homeboys, like, yo, like, I don't make X amount of dollars, but I would love to make this. How did you get there? Like, we got to put our pride to the side, put our egos down, and really just understand that it's not a dog eat dog world. It's truly not.
No.
It's a dog eat self world. It's like, it's that dog who's trying to survive out in the wilderness and he starts eating his leg. We're not trying to go get help. That's the problem.
And honestly, Dave, honestly, shout out to Dave, because one thing he taught me, out of many things he taught me, the one stick out the most is that you got to know how to ask for what you want.
Absolutely.
Like, there's going to be times where somebody's going to be in a position to actually give it to you, but if you don't know how to articulate and say, I need this, they won't even know to give it to you. How would they know to even bless you with it?
Absolutely.
And just thinking about the 40K, like, yo, I heard on Clubhouse one day, bro, like, now this woman was like very well off. And like, my thing is, as a man, I don't blame anybody for knowing what they want and desert and wanting to pursue that, right, in their life. So if her statement was, she doesn't want a man that makes 40,000, that makes 100,000 or less. And I'm like, cool. But her next statement was, a man that makes 40,000 or less can't do nothing for me. And I'm just like, wow. Like, what you just did was, you just said, like, his wallet takes precedent of everything. Because a man that makes $40,000 can love the hell out of you. Like,
absolutely.
it doesn't matter how much money the man gets if he has a genuine heart, right? A man of after God's own heart that's looking to provide love and everything else that comes with it. And that would just blew me away. I was like, wait a minute, I know so many genuine men that don't make over $100,000 right now, bro.
Yeah, she just marginalized that man.
Really?
And she pretty put him in a box, and it's like, in a situation like that, women like that gotta realize that there's loneliness that follows that, or there's abuse that follows that, because sometimes with certain powers that comes some things that you don't want. If you look at the Tyler Perry film, what's the movie? Where they were both in the country and they moved up to the big city, and she got opened up to a whole new life.
Right.
Like, you can't marginalize a man for what he makes. You have to look at a man for what he does for you and what he does for his family. How he cares for himself, how he may care for his moms, how he may care for his pops, how he may care for his siblings. That's what you look at in a man, his character, who he is behind closed door, who he is out in public. You can't look at a man by his bank account, because some men, as we know, society, men sometimes we get a little slower start than women.
Right.
Women tend to mature a little bit quicker. So, and the thing is, like, I had a conversation with my homegirl probably a few weeks or months ago. She was like, yo, a guy can make less than me, but when he gets with me, I'm gonna turn him up so good it ain't even gonna matter anymore, because I don't turn him up.
Right.
Women are, now I get it. Women sometimes they don't want to be the empowerment piece for their husband.
Right. They don't want no projects. I get it.
I get it, but not every man's a project.
Right.
Every man, there's just one man out there who's just trying to figure it out, and you're the missing piece.
Right.
You got to put your sauce on him.
Right.
When you put your sauce on him, it's like, oh, I got it from here, babe. Like, you sit back and relax, and I'll go out and get it. But what some people fail to realize is that they're the missing piece to the puzzle that's going to turn somebody up and give them the life that they've been desiring for so long. Women are looking for love and intimacy in various ways, but they can't get it if they're thinking, the 40K man is not enough.
Right. And that's the one thing, Joe, I'm so glad my wife didn't think, bro. Like when I look back over like the beginning until now, like in the beginning of our relationship, like, and this is what I be thinking about when I hear women speak as well, is like, yo, do you know how some men are getting this bag? Like, yo, my best year was my most illegal year, and thank God statute of limitations is up and all those things over with. But like, yo, like, you want me to go get 100,000 the way I know to get 100,000? Like, do you want what comes with that? Right? Like, because that comes with a lot of dark time, right? A lonely times if things don't go the right way. It knocks on doors, God forbid, bullets flying. It comes with a whole package of things that this is what you want because you want this dollar amount.
Right.
And that's what it broke my heart, because I'm like, when I switched over from going from the street life to doing it the right way, I was entry level, which everybody has to start at some space.
Absolutely.
I'm making 40,000. Now my manhood is being questioned in the world because of a certain amount of dollars that I'm bringing in the right way. But when I was doing it the unmoral way, right, the wrong way, based upon society, we're doing things the illegal way,
right, then
I'm still frowned upon. So there's for a man that's trying to figure it out, like it's like he's almost cornered almost. It's like I feel I'm scared for single men, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you.
It's rough out here, bro. It's rough. Like, I've been dating for real since 2018, 19. And it's just tough. Like, when women aren't trying to get it, where now I've been fortunate enough to run into some women where they're okay with where my pockets were at the time. But I've also had some experiences where they didn't get it when I was trying to save and not spend. Trying to be more diligent, trying to grow the credit score. I'm trying to grow the savings account. I'm trying to make sure that, though this year right here may not be the best, if you allow me to do it, like this plan I got in my head, and allow it work itself out, the next year could be up. Right. But it's just you out here, we don't do this. We can't go out and do this. Like, I can't do all of that right now. I'm working. At the time, I was working for the state. The state don't pay nothing like that. Right. So it's just, I got to be strategic with my money. And, lo and behold, of course, we didn't work out. But it's tough out here because on men, in particular. And I'm not even talking about just like them dog dudes. No, they're
No,
just
we don't, and that's we don't even dress those. They're in a category of their own.
yeah, exactly. They're all by themselves. I'm talking about the guys out here who are really trying to make it.
Really, right?
The guys who are just trying to figure it out, like you said, the right way.
Right.
And if we're not given the time to figure it out, man, put ourselves in these spaces, it's like, man, I don't know what it's gonna be like for the single world out here, because it's rough.
Yo, and we're so caught up in the materialistic and like the what can you do for me instead of with me thing. Like I hear this for me thing now. It's like, yeah, what could you do for me? And the women are saying, what could you do for me? And then I hear men saying, well, what are you bringing to the table? It's like, it's two questions. Like coming to, like, what kind of conversation is that?
It's no conversation to be had, because like, one, you're stepping into the arena with the wrong mindset.
Right.
What can you do for me? What do you bring to the table? Versus, how can we turn this joint up together?
Facts.
How can I help you? And how can I help you? How can you help me? And together, what can we do together? Or separately, what can we do together? But come back together and figure this thing out. That's where I'm at. And any relationship I'm going forward with now, it's got to be not what can you do for me? What can we do together? How can I help enhance your life? Because I already know if I start enhancing your life, you're going to enhance my life.
Inevitable. It's inevitable.
Yeah, it has to happen. It has to happen. Like, I've been in a relationship where I've been drained trying to pour into somebody, and they're not. It's a hole at the bottom of their bucket because they're not trying to receive what I'm trying to give them.
Right. That's
I've been in relationships, up to the current where it's like, yo, this chick gets it. She understands it. It's just when people get it, and when somebody gets it, and they understand it, it's sky is no longer the limit.
Man, yo, and like that just reminded me of like people always know at that one moment when the person that you choose is going to be that person. Mm-hmm. And I always tell the story. I've told them 1,000,001 times, but I'll tell you and the guys who ever heard it on the podcast. I was with my wife for about, at this time, we was dating for about a few months. Mm-hmm. And at that point, I had just hurt my leg. I had tore my knee up a little bit. And in those times, I'm in the street hustling. So there's no insurance, right? There's no time off. Like if you don't perform in the street, you don't get paid. So I hurt myself and I wasn't able to shake and move the way I wanted to. And I fell into a little, like, I would call it baby depression. And I wasn't taking care of myself. So she walked up on me one day and was like, yo, we're going to get a haircut. Let's go get cleaned up. And at the time, I literally only had enough money from my apartment, pay my car note, and that was it. Like I was literally about to go hit my mom's up for some food for the week. And she came over and she was like, we're going to get a haircut. And I'm like, yo, I don't have it right now. Like I'm not going out of the house. I'm in the crib. If you want to come through and chill, she was like, no, let's go. So, all right, well, hobbled myself on up, went to the barbershop. Now, in my mind, I was going to tell her in the car, like, yo, let me get the money now. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you won't have to hand it to me in the barbershop. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like now the man trying to cover my pride and my ego, especially in the shop and in the hood where everybody know you at. So it's like, so I forget. I totally lose conscious thought about it. We talking and we get to the barbershop and now I'm in the chair. We're talking, running his mouth, and she's sitting there. The haircut's over. He takes a napkin off my neck and I stand up. I'm like, damn. I'm like, yo, babe. Yo. Like, you know what I mean? Trying to do a real subtle, like, yo, come here right quick. Like,
yeah.
So she comes over and I'm like, and I didn't even say nothing. I was just like, yo, let me, like that. I like gave a little. So she went on her bag, gave it to me. And the worst fear that I had happened. The barber says something. He goes, oh, you got it like that? And I was like, oh, shit. Now, my pride, my ego, everything in this one moment, it was like, yo, this moment might tell me, am I coming back to this barbershop ever again, or I'm never coming back, like in this ever in my life. She says, yeah, he got it like that. I was like, yeah, she's it. She's the one. Like,
absolutely.
Because never, like, I've been in situations where it's like, yo, like you ain't paying for this. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, I thought you invited me to this. Like,
right.
Okay. I'll pay for this, cool. And it's like it was a scene. She covered me, like she protected my ego. She protected me in that space. I was like, never have I ever seen that before. And in that moment, I was like, yo, I can't mess this up.
Yeah,
I cannot mess this one up.
yeah. Because you don't find them too often like that. You don't like the fact that once she protected your ego, but more so, she stood up for you in a moment where you were at your lowest.
Word.
That conversation could have went all the way left or all the way right. Because how we as fellas are. We like to clown.
Right. And he was ready for it. He's a jokester.
And she stepped in like, nah, yeah, he do got like that. I wish you would say something about my man.
Right. Right.
Exactly,
and I was
from that.
My chest with him deflated to like, what you say, nigga? Like, what? Hold on, fam. It went from like, yo, I'm about to cower out of here to like, I'm like, yeah, I'm a giant now. All of a sudden,
yeah.
like all of a sudden, I'm a giant.
And the crazy thing is, like, I'm glad you wrote that story up, man. I was recently on a date with a young lady, and we're sitting. I've never in my life seen this before. A day in my life, we're arguing over the bill. Who's going to pay? I'm like, what's up? Like, of course I couldn't let it because it was the first date, and we got as men, we just felt we gotta pay.
Right.
She was like, I haven't ate all day, so I'm about to eat. I'm like, yo, eat, do your thing. She was like, we're separate. The waiter comes, how to do the check? I said together. She's like, no, you can separate them. I said, no, I'll put them together. So like, we're literally going back and forth about how we're gonna do this check. I'm like, yo, you're different.
Right.
And it's just like, like when men are in spaces like that, it feels so good.
Oh my God.
To know that I feel like, if I forgot my wallet or if I just don't got it, that you have it and there is no shame behind it, there's no guilt, there's no clowning behind it, there's no, well, you remember the time where, I had to pay for the deal. It's like, it didn't feel like that, like, and like you said, I'm trying not to mess this joint up.
Right.
Going up, like, yo, like I tell you, she's like, I'm come to help at the events and buy a ticket. What?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You ready to get on one knee right now? Like, hold up. Listen, like, yo, because when like, now I get it. Like when you're young and you hit things in the church and the Bible, but when a man finds a woman, he finds a good thing. That's the truest statement in the world.
Facts, man. Facts.
Like, yo, shout out to all the good women out there, man. Shout out to the good women in this world, boy.
Thank you. We love y'all. Listen.
Yes. Listen, queens. We appreciate you. Like, and I do this often, but like, I apologize for the ones for my past life, right? For the men that are still walking in those shoes. I apologize, queen. Don't let your light be dimmed by it, because at some point that man's going to turn into one of us that's looking to be the right one.
Absolutely.
At some point he's going to get it right. Like, that's the faith. I have that faith in each and every man on this earth. At some point he's going to want to turn that thing around and get it together, man.
It's just, I think a lot of men, we just need somebody to have the faith in us. I think a lot of men, we've been so bogged down with society, or even like, if you grew up in a single parent home, there's times where mom was so dependent upon you, or mom was, she had this vendetta against your pops. And it's like, everything that she had to experience, you had to experience too, times two. And it wasn't fair to you. So now it's like your view on women sometimes gets misconstrued. And it's just, we as men got to really like step up outside of ourselves and really look at the bigger picture. Like really like leave ourselves here physically, but take ourselves out of the picture mentally to like look down upon ourselves and like, how can you change this situation here? What would you do in this type of situation?
Right.
And I think once we remove ourselves from these type of situations and really think about them when it comes to dating, when it comes to marriage, when it comes to just being alone, how can our character, really be, how can we find the confidence in our character to be like, yo, I'm a stand-up guy. I may not have it all together, but I'm working on it. And I feel like if men can just be honest up front, I think the relationships become a lot stronger, especially in our Black community. I feel like, if we can just be 100%, just keep it 100 with each other, men and women, I feel like, we'll all find the right being for ourselves.
Yo, and you're so right about that, bro, because I think that like we have this artificial thought about what someone else is. And I think it goes down to I had this conversation with somebody last week. I really believe that men and women don't understand subconsciously we battle against each other.
Absolutely.
So I was thinking about this heavy the other day. I was like, yo, as men, are we jealous of women from early age? Because remember, I tell everybody the same story. I watched a boy fall in a room full of people. The little boy fell. One, two people was like, oh, he's all right, get up. Moments later, in the same room, same house full of adults, a girl ran through the room and fell. The whole room stopped.
Mm.
Now, what I saw in that moment, because I watched everybody's entire room just go attention to this girl.
Yeah.
But what I happened to do was step back and watch everybody go. But guess who was standing around? That little boy. Watch that.
Yeah.
He
Wondering where.
watched the entire room just collapse on and make sure she's okay. Nothing wrong with that, right? We supposed to take care of our girls.
Mm-hmm.
But that little boy witnessed that didn't nobody care, that he fell over the same exact thing that she fell over. And he got, oh, you're good, get up. You're all right. Brush it off.
But that memory sticks with him for the rest of his life. That memory sticks with him because it's like he's gonna remember, like, yo, you're good, get up. And what's gonna happen is he's gonna pass that same energy down to his kids.
Right.
Or he's gonna pass that same energy down to his friends who are also males. It's gonna come a point where it's like, as men, we gotta stop thinking that get up. We gotta stop thinking that whole get up, you're gonna be all right thing.
Right.
We gotta tap into our emotions. And I think an emotional man is definitely a confident man.
Absolutely.
Because a man who's so secure in his emotions is confident in himself as a male, because if I cry, I'm okay because I realize we're all the same being, created from the same person. Absolutely. So if I cry, I mean that tear came from my heavenly Father or the higher being, whatever you choose to believe in.
Right.
Just like, if I, whimper a little bit, or I'm sad, or I'm depressed, or whatever it may be, these same exact emotions run through the same blood as men or women. There's no gender on emotion. Emotions are emotions. The whole crying is from women or men don't cry thing, that's a lie. I was crying last week, boo-hooing on a podcast.
Bro, I was just, I ain't gonna lie to you, I was just crying just watching the shout out to Chris McBride. He just had his baby boy, like, and he had in a water birth. Yo, I was watching it with my wife because I was just telling her, like, yo, look how beautiful it is. And it's so crazy because I didn't know that I was that emotionally attached to that video. I watched it for like 10 minutes and I'm literally emotionally crying because I'm like, yo, this is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Then I got off it, and then the first thought I had when I was wiping my eyes after the tears roll was, yo, you saw, like, that's and I'm like, wait a minute, where did that come from?
Question yourself.
Right. Like, why am I questioning the fact that I felt something and I'm okay with feeling it?
Yeah, like that's a normal emotion.
Right.
Like, it's a normal emotion, but it's the society has told us, like, yo, men don't cry. That's for the women. Like, we don't, that ain't what y'all do. Y'all tough it out, y'all stick it out, y'all be all right. No, it's like, yo, as men, we got to get away from that notion of it's not okay to be in our emotions. Like, I got to be in my emotions
because there's no other way to be.
Yeah, there's no other way to be, because it reminds me that I'm human still.
Right.
It reminds me that I'm still human, and that what I'm going through is just an experience or just a moment.
Right.
Now, if you're a guy, your emotions always jacked up 24/7, then of course that's a different story, as on a more of a mental level, of course. But to cry, you said you cried when you saw your homeboy and your boy have his daughter. I mean, son, like, the little CJ. That's a thing. Right. That's okay. Right. Or you cry when you see a bride walk down the aisle. That's okay.
Right.
Or you cry when somebody hurt. When your bro hurt, your wife hurt, your sister hurt. Like, yo, it's okay for men to be in their emotion. An emotional man is a confident man. I don't care what nobody says.
Absolutely. Listen, and I think he's the most powerful and dangerous man in the world. Like, absolutely. Like, I've seen like men go from like this cold-hearted place to like a free spirit man being able to release things and cry. Like, yo, so for instance, let me tell you something. It's crazy that this is even happening right now. So right before this podcast, I was shaping myself up, right? I was going to go shape myself up and get myself together.
Yeah.
Now you got the T-liner blades, right? The
Mhm.
joints you use in the barbershop. So I have a set of those, and it's so funny now we're about to have this conversation. Check this out. The blades, right? I just bought a brand new blade to put on it, and I put it on the blade, and I left it in the room. Now I left it in the bathroom. Now you know when the bathroom, your wife showers, women shower with the water on hell. So the room, the walls are sweating. Like it's just crazy
Yeah.
in there. It's steamed up. Now I'm like, okay, now it's time to shave myself up. But guess what? The clippers rusted. What happened was it sat in the room that was full of water. And it made me think, yo, is that what's going on to men on the inside? Are we rusting away because so many men are crying on the inside, bro? Like because you can't tell me you don't cry.
Yeah, yeah,
Even if the hardest men that's secluding themselves from emotion and dealing with their emotions, you're still crying on the inside.
absolutely.
So we see what happens to iron. Like how much mildew are men dealing with on the inside of inside of their bodies, bro? Like emotionally,
Yeah.
from not being able to release that.
And it's a lot. You think like the high blood pressure, the high cholesterol, the alcoholism, the
Right,
drugs. Like a lot of men are trying to find an escape instead of just opening their mouths. I
right,
think like the biggest escape that you can find is just open your mouth and I have a problem. I'm going through
right.
something right now. Like that's a confident man
Yes,
to boldly speak of like to boldly speak and say, this is what I'm going through, this is what I'm experiencing, this is what I'm feeling. Like men gotta understand, we are allowed to have feelings.
right. And
Allowed,
like,
it's okay to be in them.
and someone said, shout out to my man Wood. He said, no one can allow you to be what you are.
Mm.
Like someone can't tell you not to be in your feelings. Yo, you are a ball of feelings.
Yeah,
Like we're made of a bunch of nerve endings for a reason. Like we're a ball of sensation, right?
yeah,
Like
for sure.
everything about us, like I was from our senses, I would all of our senses to where we feel, the environments we're at, everything about us isn't a feeling. And I had this even crazy even thought, like, yo, everything is about a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, we're doing this podcast right now because of the feeling we get from being able to pour into others. We
Absolutely.
we have a car not because we like the make and model of it. We like how it makes us feel in it, right?
Absolutely.
The home we're sitting in, we like how it makes us feel.
Mm-hmm.
So if everything around us is about feeling, how could we try to pull ourselves away from that?
Right.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah, it's like we gotta pull ourselves closer to it.
Right,
The more that we begin to feel, the better the emotion that comes out of us.
right,
Because if we suppress every feeling inside, we suppress love, not even love, if we suppress the expression of love,
right,
we suppress, how the day went at the job or how a white man or somebody made us feel at work because this whole, all this racial tension we got going on now. If we suppress all of that, it becomes something else.
toxic.
It becomes
Right,
very toxic. Like, that stuff is spewing out and
right.
it's bound to come out some way, somehow, some way, one way or another is going to come out.
And the sad part about it is, most times it comes out as we bleeding on the ones we love.
Absolutely.
It comes out as outlash, outburst somewhere, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like you look back, like, yo, and I'm talking from experience because I've lashed out and caught myself later on looking like, yo, that wasn't you. What made you do that? Like, why
Yeah,
did you lose that?
absolutely.
And shout out to my man. I keep promoting this man's book, Jason Wilson. Like, I'm not a big reader, but I
Solid.
tell you, this book, yo, like let me stop saying that. I am a reader now. I become a better reader now. But this book, Battle Cry, bro, set me free emotionally.
I gotta check it
Yo,
out.
yeah, you got to, bro. It'll be the best $15 you ever spend in your entire life.
Mm.
Yo, emotional incarceration is the first chapter.
Dang.
Yo, he speaks about only being able to come out your emotional cell on holidays.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know what that feels like. Like to be in your home, everyone is so much love and so much in just a warm feeling, and the only way you can just be a part of it is to be stern, not
Mm.
show the emotion and just be a part, be there, but be a part.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And bro, I was like, yo, I'm in jail. Like I'm literally in emotional jail. And I didn't realize it because I'm like, I didn't have a male figure in the house, and the one that I did have, God bless him, all he did was pay the bills, and that's how he knew how to be a man.
Yeah.
So what I look at, and I'm like, it's how do I express these things? Now I'm asking myself, how do I be a part of my family's emotions?
Mm-hmm.
And I realized after reading this book, I was like, yo, I've been held captive by the behavior that I thought I had to put on just to exist as something I already am.
That's good.
You like that, yo? I'm telling you that, yo, bro. That book set my mind and my emotions free. Like after reading that book, I told my wife sorry on so many times. Like because I didn't know that my emotional captivity caused her so much grief.
Mm.
Like she couldn't even love on me because I didn't let her in near me. Like she's trying to give me all this love, and I'm just like stiff arm, like
Yeah.
like stay over
Yeah.
there with that. Like I don't need that over here. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But at the same time, I'm begging for it.
Mm.
Right? Like it's a messed up conundrum for a woman to be in. Like when they're all they're designed to do is love you.
Mm-hmm.
Their existence is to love on you, and
That's
you're
all they want
just
to.
that's all. And the only thing you doing is like, nah, I don't want it. I want it. I don't need it. I need it, but I don't want it. I don't know what I need. I'm confused. Like,
We as men,
all I
we
want is to give me the buns though. I need the buns though, right?
bring that.
And like it's so funny. Like we know how to have sex, but we don't know how to communicate our emotions.
I mean, that's. But we have to think back to society.
Right.
That's what we were given. Like we were taught. Like there's certain things. I know as me as a kid, I grew up. I had a porn addiction because
Right.
I was told like, as men, if you're not a man, if you don't watch porn,
Right.
so I'm
Right.
watching that joint 24/7 to the point I'm
Yeah,
gonna
it
wreck
became regular television, right?
my,
Regular TV. Yeah.
to the point where I almost wrecked my car. Like,
Seriously.
I'm like, is this ran dead smack into the back of this chick? Like it's just society has done us wrong as men.
Right. Right.
Society owes men an apology.
Oh, absolutely.
A big
Absolutely.
apology, but we can't dwell on that though. Because if we
No.
don't do an apology, it's like, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna sit there and harp on the fact that we didn't get one? Or are we gonna
Right.
say, you know what? Though I didn't get one, my character tells me that I still need to be a better man. I need to release these emotions. I need to, love my wife a little bit more, my girl a little bit more, my kids a little bit more. I have to be better than who my father was because there were probably some areas that he may have lacked as a man that he just didn't know.
Right. And
And
that's so important, bro. Like that didn't know factor. Like just think about what you didn't know. Like if you don't know what you don't know, right? That's the fact. And they did what they did with what they had.
absolutely.
And that's where I like, because I like everybody else, I felt slighted growing up. I didn't have my real father, my stepfather. All he did was pay bill. Like this, everybody got their song. But the truth of the matter is that they did the best that they could in that moment with what they had.
Yeah.
And that's freeing even for myself because what we don't realize is like, yo, when you release someone else, like when you give that freedom of saying forgiveness to someone else, you free yourself. Like you get that weight off of your own back. Cause like the day I really gave my father that space to say, you know what, you just didn't know.
Yeah.
And even having conversations right now, he just doesn't. It's the capacity, right? Like I had a conversation with him, bro. Like, and this was real. Like a few months ago, like I was telling you off the line that in November I was in a real dark space. I had my first down month as an entrepreneur. Like I've been out as on a full-time entrepreneur now at that point for 6 months, and I had not seen a week without a new client. Like I was doing wonderful. Like shout out to Donnie Wiggins, she is the truth. Like so everything was going good, and then I hit that wall, and I felt my pride kicking up. I didn't want to tell nobody. I didn't have no clients. I wasn't doing well with money because it's my first time having this kind of money flowing in as much as it is. So I'm thinking it can go just as fast, right? Oh, but yeah, babe, go ahead, buy what you want. Coming and going out just as fast. So I don't know how to operate in this at the speed I'm going at. So it all came together at once, and then I'm just like in a space where there's no money coming in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm back at this situation. I'm like, yo, did I make the right decision? And then like God, in his mysterious ways, my man I haven't spoke to in months was like, yo, you wanna do a security gig? I was like, yeah, I need the money. Like, I take it. Let's get it.
Yeah.
And he was like, yo, it's for some guy named Tony. I was like, okay. Yo, get to this facility. You know what Tony's talking about? Tony
Evans?
Robbins.
Oh wow.
And not only am I doing the security, I'm doing this detail.
Oh, so you with him one-on-one?
Word. So I'm like, I'm blown away. Blown away. Now, I had the opportunity to talk with him, and he's a wonderful, phenomenal man. Like, the dude, I ain't gonna tell nobody no lie. Like, this might sound sacrilegious, but he could be the closest thing next to Jesus. Like, like the man's energy is
Yeah.
remarkable. I asked him mad questions, but there were two specific questions I asked him. I said, number one, I want the realest answer you can possibly give me when I ask you this question. I don't want the fluff. There's nobody else around that's gonna hear you say this. Tell me what makes your energy different than mine, because it's I can feel it. Like, what makes you different? And his exact words to me was, I do the hard things that people don't want to do every single day. I have the hard conversations with people I love. I look at myself and I'm honest with myself. I don't sugarcoat anything. If I'm not feeling okay, I'm not feeling okay. I don't play games with my own emotions. I was like,
Mm.
and like I run from things. Like,
Yeah.
to be transparent, like some conversations with some people, I'm like, I don't want to talk about that.
I don't want to talk about that. Not with you.
I don't want to do that. But he explained it's about the muscle memory that comes from having those hard conversations.
Yeah.
Right? The strength and emotions that come from it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next question I asked that man that really, really like hit home for me, I said, yo, what changed you? Like, what changed for you that just set you on this path that you're on now? And he was just like, yo, I was sick and tired of being the man that everybody was kicking around. Like, he was like, yo, I got tired of just being the man that everybody was easy to walk over. He's like, the value that I had at that time, it was easy just to keep going. Like, there was no reason for you to stop. He said, I had to learn more about me. And then me learning more about me made me intrigued about humans, because once you learn a certain level about yourself, you realize that we're all the same.
Absolutely.
And then he said, the light happened when I began to pour into people. He was like, yo, you want to be happy? Just give. The highest pleasure on the earth is giving. And when he said that to me, I was just like, oh. And now it set my passion back on fire, because I was literally down in that time, bro. And like, even the topic of conversation we had about the subconscious, bro, my subconscious was doing me dirty because of what I was letting in the gates, though, right?
Yeah.
Like, what I was letting come to me. And like, you know for a fact, when you in the car, you listen to Mary J. Blige or something, you chilling, right? You chilling, right? You want your jeans back, yo. You might even be looking through your sunroof, right? Mary's on, but let Jeezy pop on. let Jeezy turn on from 2003.
It's a totally different man.
Now you up in you on the steering wheel, like you aggressive.
All that joint, flying everything.
Yo, where somebody would cut you off, listen to Mary J. Blige, you'd be like, have a good day. Somebody
Right.
Now, you ready? Yo, are you serious?
Right, you cussing everybody out. Everybody.
It's because it's about what you letting in, bro. Like, and I didn't understand that, bro. So it's like, especially in the work that you do about dealing with traumas, bro. Like, speak about how important it is to take care of that subconscious mind, bro.
Oh man. How much time we got? Because when it comes to this trauma, so I got stories, man. I share my personal story, man, when it comes to trauma, to let men know, like, yo, it's okay. And when it comes to that subconscious mind, when it comes to dealing with trauma, it's just trauma. What we got to realize about trauma is that it dates back further than our existence. Trauma is embedded in our DNA. It's passed down from generation to generation to generation. until somebody has the confidence or the boldness to say, yo, it stops right here. It stops right here at me because I can't see another cycle of this happening again. Right. So my story is I was molested at 12 years old, broke my confidence. Wow. Broke my confidence. Like I'm shying away. I can't make eye contact with men or women. Wow. I'm nervous all the time. My energy is low. It's like I don't know who I am sexually. I'm forced, like as I'm growing older, women are starting to, be attracted to me because I'm no longer like I was a chubby kid, but I was a chubby kid who wasn't confident in himself versus the chubby kid who got a little bit of confidence in himself, just enough to kind of get a girl.
Right.
And then, but there's still like this subconscious thoughts with me of my whole sexuality. It's breaking me down every day, bro. I mean, I'm fighting this joint every day silently with nobody to tell. I didn't tell the first person I've ever told was my therapist at the age of 29. So imagine carrying that weight of lack of
12 to 29, bro.
29 years old. I'm holding this secret inside. I'm holding the secret of being molested inside. I slowly started sharing that story. But then what happened after the molestation up into my adult years was I began to live a life for homosexuality. Because I was like, yo, I could, like, it was eating away with me. I was literally just having a conversation with my homeboy earlier today. Like, yo, how did you deal with that? Because like, lo and behold, it was like, yo, he was going through the same exact thing I went through. Wow. The same exact thing. And it's like, yo, your confidence is shot as a man, especially when it comes to this dating space. Like, yo, how do I tell Shorty, like, yo,
right,
I used to live a double life. So then it's like you gotta really like size yourself up, beef yourself up even more, trying to like really get yourself confident enough to tell this story in boldness. And yo, this like my story now is like it's gotten easier for me.
Right.
But it's still my confidence still sometimes shies away into the background because it's like, yo, I really want this girl.
Right.
It's like, yo, you got the story behind you. It's like the little devil, like, remember, you got this little story right here.
Right.
Angel, yo, like just tell her, like, you never know. And the thing is, like, I've never had a bad experience dating. And I think it's because it goes back to what we talked about earlier, my character. My character has been following me, has been going before me in spaces I haven't even entered in yet.
Correct.
Spaces I've never been yet, women I've never been with just yet. My character has been there, so it's made the conversation a lot easier, which made me as a man have more confidence in myself.
So that's the most important thing, bro, about the character.
Yeah, like it's like, yo, I was never the dude out there dogging like, yo, gay dudes can't be around or this and the third. I was never that guy.
Right.
I've had friends who were homosexuals, like back in college.
Right.
I have friends to this day, yo, like who are homosexuals. I just never been that guy to be bashing people because I knew what I was dealing with inside. And I know if I was dealing with that inside, there's a slight possibility that, my homosexual friends are dealing with the same exact thing or have dealt with that same exact thing.
Yo, and you just like blew me away, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Because like I was one of the bashers, and I'm always transparent, bro.
Yeah. I love it.
And my moms, shout out to my moms, and my brother are homosexuals. You see what I'm saying? Like, and me moving from New York, coming down to South Florida was a rude awakening because I happened to come down from New York, obviously heterosexual dominated area, right?
Yeah.
And you know the culture and what it takes to be a man and how you have to put this facade on all the time.
You're tough at all times.
Yeah. Like I was never you never not tough. Like you tough when you eating bacon in the morning, right? Like, like you tough and you tough when you got cold out your eyes. Like you from the time you open your eyes to the time you go to bed, you tough.
Yeah.
So like I literally came down here and I came down, bro, and got my whole life checked. Come down here and found out that the only thing I know how to do to provide for myself is sell drugs. Wow. I don't have a skill. I don't have a trade. I don't have any ability. I don't have a skill to walk into a building and say, I can do this. This is why I deserve the payment. So I literally came down here and had to do every under the world job that you can imagine. I built buildings that I couldn't even take my animal to go get a shot in. I built animal hospitals that I couldn't afford to walk in.
Dang.
Like, and I came down here with a woman, right, that I'm supposed to be providing and doing all these things for. Bro, like, I walked into Wilton Manors, and shout out to Wilton Manors because it's the largest gay community other than San Francisco in the
Mhm.
world. And the whole entire community is homosexual, right? And my first 6 months was the hardest 6 months there because I had to work in the town because that's the only place I can get a job. I got a job there through my school I was in, a work release, like a work program, work study program, and it was in a thrift shop. And my first couple of weeks in there, I was on complete defense. Every time I walked past somebody, I was ready to punch somebody in their face.
Hey.
Like, yo, because in my mind, I believe that if you thought you found me attractive as a gay man, that you seen something in me. And like I'm
Mm.
like, what do you see in me? Like, I don't like that you think that there's something in me that tells you that I'm gay.
Yeah, I've been there before, bro.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
I'm fighting every time I turn around. How you doing? What you say? So I went home every day, and the job was physical because I was doing picking up like furniture and moving furniture. So the
Mhm.
job was physical, but I was in great shape at that time,
Yeah, yeah.
and I wasn't. I was just so emotionally tired by the time I came home because I'm I'm constantly on defense. Every time I turn around, I'm thinking somebody's trying to have sex with me, right? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm thinking one
Yeah.
of these men is trying to come push up on me. But the truth of the matter is, when I began to learn people and
Mhm.
became to talk to them and find out, oh, you're a man like me. Like you're just a man that has a different sexual preference.
Yep.
That's all this is. Like
Yeah.
you're not wrong for what you're doing. Like this is your lifestyle that you're choosing to do what you do. And then this epiphany hit me, Jay. Even heterosexual people, we don't question what they do in the bedroom. So why do we care what homosexual people do in the bedroom? What does that have to do with the price of tea in China, as my grandmother used to say? Because right now, what's the difference when we having this podcast conversation? What you do in your sexual life that has no bearings on nothing. Your status in life, your position in this world, it has nothing to do with anything. Why does that always have to come to the forefront? And this is where I'm saying now, there's so much unheard and trauma that we got to get past because the trauma shows up and just outlashing on people we don't understand.
Absolutely.
You just don't understand people. Like if we took the time to learn, like I had a learning experience and just speaking to men. So we're gonna go there for a second. So there was a dude that broke down to me homosexuality, and like I might get canned or canceled, but I'm just explaining the conversation. The dude was like, there's a difference between a gay man, a faggot, and I've got the other term. But I said, help me understand this. See, a gay man wants another man. And they don't count the prancers and the quote unquote faggots as part of their teams, like a part of the men that they want to be with.
Hmm.
So it's another world inside of that world.
Wow.
So I was like, okay. And then he said, bro, if I'm a gay man, I want a man. Why would I want a man that's pretending to be a woman? I said, oh, because now it's hitting home to me. Like this is what they want to do, like the quote unquote faggots and the prancers and all that the way they call them. This is their lifestyle, but that's not for every gay man. The same way like every black man ain't the same, right?
Right, right.
So when I'm learning that, I'm learning on deeper levels. Like number one, you're still human. Number
Mhm.
two, what you do in your bedroom has no predicate, has no judgment on our conversation in the present moment. And every gay man doesn't want every man, straight man, walking down the street. And once I got those thought processes out of my head, I could learn like, oh, those everything that I had against you was my own bad thoughts.
Yeah.
Like you didn't do nothing to me. A gay man never did anything to me wrong.
Mhm.
But here I am with these preconceived notions of what I think that I should behave to you because of your sexual preference.
Right, right.
That's crazy, bro. Like, and I think, and I'm so sad that I walked around like that way for so long because how many friendships that I could I possibly have had? Like, how many great opportunities and relationships could have been created through time based upon my outlook on life,
Yeah.
bro? Like, you just blew my mind, bro. 'Cause first of all, I didn't know your story. I didn't know your background. And number one, salute to you, King.
I
Because
appreciate
the fact that you can tell the story, bro. Yo, I got goosebumps. Because like, yo, I know what it's like. And the reason I do this podcast because I'm transparent because yo, when you let go, somebody else can be free, bro. Like our
it.
testimony is somebody else's therapy to get through.
Yeah.
And I'm just so glad that you was man enough and confident enough and to even open the story to the world, bro.
Yeah,
I
man.
salute you. I
I mean, we
salute
can't
you,
be
bro.
on here talking about confidence, man, and I'm still trying to hide a part of my life that I've tried to bury. I mean, that's
Right,
who I am. I confidently speak about who I am, what I am. It's just I have to
right,
because, like you said earlier, if I don't share this part of my life, there's somebody who's going to be in emotional prison
right.
because they don't that story's not being told. I haven't found too many men sharing these stories. I haven't. I've been looking like, yo, that's the reason why from 12 to 29, I've been holding this in.
Right. Because
Because
where could you go with it, bro? Like that's another thing I'm thinking about. Where, bro? You
nowhere.
would have been ostracized, criticized, tarred and feathered, damn near.
Yeah.
Like all because of you was taken advantage of. Like, and that's the thing. Like when you get hit with a trauma, nobody calls for it. Hey, do me a favor. Let me get that order trauma. Like, you, like it ain't dominoes, bro. Like I didn't ask for this. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
and then once you say what's happened, you get criticized for it. Like, I see now why people regress and go into these dark places because it's like, yo, I'm hurting to begin with. Do you
Yeah,
know what it took for me to even say I'm hurting
yeah.
and then be kicked in the neck about it? Like,
But
wait
the
a minute.
crazy thing, bro, was that I was in therapy telling my therapist my whole life journey. And my homework assignment was to tell 5 people what I told her. Talk about, man, heart racing, about judgment.
Oh my god.
And I just happened to be in a group chat with one, two, three, four of my friends from college. Four of my closest friends, like not my close, but yes, four of my closest friends from college. And I was like, yo, I'm in therapy right now. And it's all man, it's a beautiful thing. I got some homework, man, and y'all are part of my home. So they're okay, what's up? I'm like, yo, like I've experienced, life from being molested to living a life of homosexuality once upon a time. And I need to get this off my chest because it's making me feel better. And you know how you put the message out there, and then you see like on iPhone, you see little 3 dots. Yeah, so telling my friends, it was like, yo, I was like those 3 dots just sitting there, and I don't know, like my heart was just racing and just pounding, and I'm like, yo, I'm about to lose some friends.
Right, right.
I don't know what it was, but the responses were so beautiful. It was like, yo, like we still love you. Like I'm glad you got it off your chest. Like you good. Like I'm glad you're in therapy. You working through it. Whatever you decide to do, we love you. And I'm
What
like,
does that
oh,
do, man? What did that do? Like,
man, that just made me feel so good about myself, and it made me feel even more confident in myself.
right.
I can share this story freely without judgment, and I might get some judgment from some folks still, but the ones who love me, the ones who I
Right.
need the most, they're going to always be in my corner. And
Right.
I that same year I was turning 30, and there's something about the year 30 that just changes a man's trajectory on life.
Yes.
I don't know what it is, but it's something about that year 30, that 29 going into 30 is something
That
about it.
brain pop, like that part of that brain explodes.
Yeah. And I flew out to Vegas for the first time. My best friend lives in Vegas, and I'm like, yo, we gotta sit down, we gotta talk. I'm like, all right, she's like, cool. Like, she just thinks it's just typical conversation. Like, yo, you don't need to drink for this one. Drinks are on me. And I'm like, this is my best friend. Like, you don't hide things from your best friend, but like, if she
Right.
cries, she weeps. Like, yo, how could you hide this from me? Not because like feeling like sorrowful, but it's like, yo, like I feel bad because I couldn't be there for you when you needed me.
Right. She wanted to be there. Word.
Yeah, like my best friend, like she's the most solid human being I've ever met. Like I'm glad that we're friends, and it's just through these conversations of just having these conversations and being on podcasts like yours, it just made me more confident in myself as a man by sharing my story. And I've gotten other men who's come to me like, yo, I've been dealing with that same exact thing. How did you get through it? How are you dealing with it to this day? And it's just like it's a process. It's a process that you gotta like really just like really go through the pruning process of washing out the things that you feel like you no longer desire and washing the thoughts that you no longer desire and getting to that subconscious thoughts and really like, self-empowerment, affirmations every day. I am who I am.
Yes.
And it's just
they don't think that hold on. You gotta say it again because my clients that's watching this podcast, you heard what this man just said? And I didn't prop him. I didn't pay him to say this. Yo, people think that affirming themselves is a game.
that's my love language. Words of affirmation is my love language. Talk
They don't understand.
It's a beautiful thing when you just sit there like if a man can sit and look himself in the mirror, eye to eye, like dead in the eye, and say, I am powerful, I am beautiful, I am handsome, I am a king. Whatever you feel like you want to be or what you need to be, if you can look yourself dead in the eye and say, I am in capital letters and put some power and authority behind that thing,
right,
it'll change your whole trajectory on life. I promise you. My life has been changed since I've been affirming myself. Since I've become confident in myself, since I started really loving myself. Like I was out there, like if I really told the whole story, I was out there wilding. Wilding out on both sides of the fence. Like wilding. I had my share fare with women, I had my share fare with men, but it was never together. It was like I just couldn't do that. I got too much respect for women and men that's to me that's just not cool.
Got you.
Me personally. And but the confidence in me, the confident guy in me now today is confident to know that that I've been healed and I'm still healing from it all, from the childhood trauma all the way up to the adulthood trauma. And what fellas out, this is the message I want to leave you with, that healing is possible. And until you start your healing journey, you can't start your confidence journey. It doesn't work that way. You got to heal the hurt inside. You got to heal the pain inside. You got to heal the hurt from what somebody else has done to you. You got to heal the hurt that what you've done to yourself. And once you heal that hurt, what happens is you begin to start healing. No one's ever fully healed because you're going to have the memories and that subconscious thought. You're going to always have the, what happens, and what could have happened, all that, the say-sos and all that stuff. That's always going to be there. But what happens when you start healing, the confidence starts arising in you, and then the kingdom man inside of you starts coming out. Yes, and people start seeing that. People nowadays, like, Donnie's crowned me new. Everybody watches on Social School Podcast.
Right.
Crowned as new because my kingdom man has been speaking for me.
Right.
I've stepped into my kingdomhood, my kingdomship.
Right.
And my confidence is like, it ain't through the roof, but me and confidence is like, we're not breaking that glass ceiling because it's because I've set myself free.
Yo, when I just even hearing your story, bro, and just getting the crumbs we tapped into, like, I'm inspired, bro, because when you said healing is for everyone, like I literally embody that because, bro, you're never not gonna be healing. And this is something that we have to understand, especially us of the melanated skin color, right? It's embedded into our DNA, like you said. We're born with struggles that we don't even know currently.
Absolutely.
And we're walking around in it every day as is regular life. And the truth of the matter is if we can understand that we're all going through something and we all show up how we show up because of it.
Yeah.
I'm no longer one of the most powerful books I've read in the last past year was The 4 Agreements. It helped me so much, bro, because what I didn't realize that my trauma made me take everything personal, Jay.
Everything.
Yo, if I said hello to a person that didn't hear me, automatically we beefing.
Facts.
If you and somebody else in the street have a spat and you look at me, now I'm part of it. I took the fact how you breathe. If you take a side breath while I was talking, you could have been just trying to catch a breath. Oh, he's trying to play me. He's trying to play me. Word. I'm like, yo, I didn't realize how selfish a mindset and how hurt of a mindset that was.
Yeah.
Because nothing is about me. Nothing is about us. Nope. Nothing. And we all show up based upon what we've been through, not who we are.
Mm.
And I had to learn that, like, and now I'm way more patient, bro.
Yeah.
Way more patient with my wife. And I'm not even on, like, back to the statement earlier with our women, I'm not on defense no more, bro. Like, I've learned, like, yo, she's here for me, not against me.
Yeah, for sure.
And that was a major battle for me. Like, anytime she would say something that was better to help me move forward, I took it as criticism. I took it as she's trying to get at me.
Right.
No, Negro, she wants you to be better. like
That's it. She just wants, that's it. Just wants you to be better. So what happens is our women want us to be better, not just for ourselves. They want us to be better for our families and society.
Right.
Because when one man sees another man who walked the same exact path, being better and doing better, it's something that charges them inside and say, yo, I gotta be better too.
Right.
I can't stay the same Joevan no more. I can't stay the same RJ no more.
Right.
I can't be the man I was yesterday.
Facts.
And that's why it's
Major
very
fact.
important for men to one, understand themselves, two, have a community of fellows that they can kick it with and be vulnerable, transparent with. And man, like you talking about the Four Agreements, this book right here changed my life. I don't know if you can see it or not.
That was you. Oh, about to grab it.
It's book, man. And this is where I got the whole notion of how trauma is passed on, how we inherit trauma. And I realized that it's a lot of traumas that I've inherited from my parents. There's a lot of traumas that I inherited from my grandparents, my great parents, how it dates so far back to slavery.
Right.
And it's just like, I'm thinking to myself, like, yo, I didn't grow up in slavery. Why do I hate white people sometimes?
Wow. Jay, I've had to ask myself that a few times, bro. Yeah. And on some real in-depth, like some real introspective question, like, why does this white person just make me angry?
Make me upset. The air that they breathe, the way they walk, the way they smile, is like, yo, I just be like, yo, Jay, you gotta check yourself.
Right.
You gotta check. And granted, there's still some injustice going on right now.
Right.
I'm not trying to take away from that. No. But I'm thinking about, why am I this way as a 34-year-old man to this day? Like, yo, like, why am I this way? What's the reason? And this book right here helped me understand, like, yo, it's just embedded DNA that they probably don't understand. Like, yo, I heard my great-great-granddaddy, who's a slave master, his thoughts.
Right.
His ways.
Yo, they said that so crazy. Like, yo, our brains haven't evolved. We still dealing with the same brain from the caveman days, bro. That's the crazy part.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So
our granddaddy brains still run through our head, man.
We're running some of them old ways that we all got. Like, some of it, we all got them old ways inside of us. Like, yo, we walking like an old person, talk like an old person. All of that stuff is just passed down. It starts with just one person that says, yo, it stops here. And that's where it's at with me. And I'm realizing why I've gone through so much, man. Why I'm going through so much, why I see so much, it's even to the point where I've had like this vendetta against my parents. And I'm like, yo, why? And I'm understanding, because there's something inside of me that's growing beyond them that they may not understand.
Right.
And that I have to teach them. As men, we got to teach people how to treat us.
Yes.
That goes back to confidence.
Yes,
you can't treat me like, the Joevan you knew yesterday.
Right.
I'm not him no more.
Right.
I'm not the little boy who was molested, who don't speak up for himself.
Right.
I'm not the guy who's out there, living a double life. I'm not him no more.
Right.
I'm the guy you see today. You probably want to see him tomorrow. I'm ever evolving.
Right.
The people I hang around, they push me to evolve.
Regularly.
Financially, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. Like, I have a piece of every emotion around me. And I gotta look at it as, it's no longer the white man's fault.
Nope.
It's no longer my mama's fault. It's no longer my daddy's fault. It's no longer the things I didn't inherit. It starts here with me. Right. If I want my kids and my kids' kids, my kids' kids to have an abundant life, I gotta let go of everything that I thought happened to me, all the things that actually did happen to me, and I gotta move on. Not saying I gotta get over it. I gotta move on. I gotta become a stronger man. Right. I gotta become a better man, because if I don't, shame on me.
Right.
Shame on me for sitting there saying, oh, woe, it's me. When in all retrospect, I could have got up out of the seat, put my best foot forward, and just made it happen.
Bro, like, my man had this conversation the other day with me about our forefathers and our dads and our granddads that went through slavery and all that. He was like, "Yo, you know what I had a dream about?" And I was like, "What's up?" He was like, "I just had a dream that Harriet Tubman like called me on the phone one day, and I was explaining to her about technology and things going on,
Mm.
and then she asked me like, what are y'all doing to go forward?" And he said she was pissed off because the only responses we kept telling her was, "Oh, the white man keeps holding us back. They keep doing this to us. We were doing this." And she was just broke down in tears, like, "Yo, y'all don't know how hard we fought for y'all to even be where y'all are, to take this baton farther.
Yeah.
Like, y'all don't have nowhere near the struggles we had, and y'all still talking about what they doing to y'all." Yo, when he said that from that dream, I was like, I can't even imagine sitting down Booker T. Washington, any of these great men, like, and having a conversation about struggles.
Mm-hmm.
And then to know that all of our struggles, majority of them was created in those times,
Yeah. Yeah.
that gives me more of a drive to say, yo, we can't pass this on.
Mm-mm. You can't.
In this day and age and yo, do you know what your name really means, bro? Like, I just did the study on my name.
Mm-hmm.
I challenge you to go find out what your name means. My name means great king and ruler. Roderick, I had no clue. And then guess what? My name was given to me from my grandmother, not my mother.
Wow.
My grandmother had a son that passed away at birth. She called him Roderick, but he never made it home from the hospital. So my mother had me out of nowhere. She messed with a dude that was had a whole family and all that, and came home pregnant. She's like, "We're gonna call that boy Roderick." And my mother didn't fight it. She's like, "Okay." And then like here I am, 36 years old. I found out last year, my name means great ruler.
Mm.
And here I am consistently doubting myself, consistently telling me, "No, nobody want to hear what you got to say.
Yeah.
You ain't got no value to offer no one. You ain't did nothing. Who are you? You wasted time playing video games. You a drug dealer." These are things that the subconscious mind continues to tell me over and over again because, like you said, it's that those old conscious thoughts. But now, how you fight those and combat those is the affirmations.
Yeah.
It's your environment, who you come in contact with,
Mm-hmm.
bro. Like, I hold our relationships, people in our circle. I don't have old friends like that whole day one thing. I don't have those
Yeah.
because day one has got me where I was at,
Mm.
right? And it can't take me to where I want to go.
Right. Right. Right.
And I'm not saying I'm just forgetting the people in my life. What I'm saying is that if you're not looking to go with me, I'm not pulling you along.
Absolutely not.
I'm going where I need to go with the people who's going with me there.
Hey, go to the promised land.
And I'm going with the team. I'm going with the team, right? Because
Absolutely.
you want to move, you better move with a team.
Yeah, you got to. We can't do nothing alone.
Nah,
Like
we
we
can
can't.
make a mess.
That's it. Like we can try to be like the macho man. We can try to be the man that society says we gotta
Right.
be. We can beat our chest all we want to, but it's like if we do it alone, we're gonna be alone for the rest of our lives. But if we do it together, I believe I call it's a domino effect, man. It's like that whole mentorship piece.
Yeah.
If I get a mentor, it's only right that I go mentor somebody else.
Facts.
And it's the same as that thing for that person I mentor. They have a mentor, they got to go back and do the same thing else. And we
Each
have
one teach one.
each one teach one. We have this domino effect where it just falls, and just keep on mentorships just keep on falling, and brotherhoods keep on growing.
Bro, like, and that reminds me, because we about to wrap,
Mm-hmm.
but this reminds me of another story that no, TD Jakes told us one. He said one day there's a dad had a 3-year-old son, and he was busy in his office, and his son wanted to play. So he kept coming in the office, Dad, I want to play. He said, "Son, give me some time and I'll play." Kids don't have no sense of
Yeah, yeah.
time. So 5 minutes, kids right back in the room. So the dad got frustrated. He said, "You know what? Here." He took a piece of paper out of a magazine, and on one side of it was a globe. So he took the paper and tore it up. small pieces. You put this together and come back. By the time you're finished putting this together, I'll play and do whatever you want. He's like, okay, Dad, cool. So the dad was like, yes, that's 3 hours, easy. There's no way he's gonna put that together fast.
Yeah.
35 minutes go past, and the kid walks in the room. Dad, I'm done. You ready? Dad was like, yo, I got a genius on my hands. Like, how the hell did you do that?
Yeah.
The kid was like, oh, Dad, it was easy.
Right.
He's
Right.
like, it was easy. He said, what do you mean it was easy? He said, because all I had to do was put the men together. I said, what? He said, huh? On the front side that he saw was the world. On the back of it was a picture of a man. And the moral of that story is, if we put each and every man together, the world has no other choice but to come together.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
each man is a building block, bro. I was like,
that joint took me away.
Yo, it blew my mind because I'm like, yo, if we all just do our part, everything that we think is an issue won't be.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? If we, because, and like, and I know I'm gonna get somebody in the comments like, you sexist. If a man gets in his rightful position, the rest of the family has no other choice but to fall in their rightful position.
Yeah. I mean, women are looking for a man to just lead, to be stern and to lead. Women don't want to. I don't know too many women who want that position.
Right.
Truth. So if I'm wrong, please correct me.
Right.
I know there's a few women who want that position. They want to lead, but I still question why they want to be.
Where that urge come from?
Where
Correct.
that coming from? But women that I've been dealing with and dating and stuff, or just that I know, they really just want a man to just lead. They want a man's, like he ain't gotta be the paper, the breadwinner. She just wanted to lead.
Right.
Leading the house, leading the bedroom, leading, outside, everywhere. Just be a man that can just lead, who has vision and who can lead.
Right.
You lead, the rest of the house will follow.
And I think about sports, bro, because I'm a basketball fanatic. Like, and I play the point guard position.
Mm-hmm.
If you come down court and you're in position, no one can stand in your spot, right? Law of physics. No one can occupy the space that you occupy.
Right.
And there's only so many spots on the court that can make a play go well.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm in my rightful spot, that starts the chain of command off. Like, you can't be in my spot, so that means you're only going to be in where? Your rightful spot.
Exactly.
And that just trickles down to everyone else to when now we can play a game where it's easy because we're all in our rightful spots. We're doing what we all supposed to be doing for the betterment of the team.
Absolutely.
But it starts from us being in the right position, because you can't do nothing out of position. You can't rebound. You can't do nothing.
Yeah.
If you're not in your rightful spot where you need to be at the right time, you're a waste of space.
Absolutely. I agree.
And I think that as a whole, bro, if we keep having these conversations, if we continue to keep creating these spaces of safe spaces, havens for men just to say, you know what, I'm not okay.
Yeah.
I'm just not all right now. Like, yo, bro, I told my friend the other day, I was like, yo, I don't want to be a dad right now. I want to be, there's a little boy in me that wants to be free right now. I don't want to think about my children right now. And I felt so bad for saying it. Like, in that moment, I was like, yo, am I selfish? Like, I have my kids are my everything. But I have to be okay with the boy in me still has to be healed and matured.
Yeah.
So I need to be able to still tap in and give him his time and space. So in no actuality, there was nothing wrong with saying that I don't want to be a dad in that moment.
Right.
And my mentor just finished telling me there's nothing wrong with having something wrong.
Yeah.
Right? There's nothing wrong with feeling like there's something wrong with you.
Not
the
at
only
all.
time it becomes wrong is when you know it and you refuse to get help.
Yep.
That's when it becomes wrong, bro.
That's it.
Phenomenal conversation, Jay.
Oh, yeah,
This one is going to literally, if it don't do nothing for nobody else, it's going to bless me on repeat, because I'm definitely going to go back to this, obviously on the edit, but still on the watch through. Because, bro, first of all, like I said, I commend you for your strength,
Thank you.
Your confidence, bro, and also your passion to help, because you don't have to, like, and this people don't understand, like, you can just literally be on your journey and say, I just want to heal myself and my business and move on. But you want other men to come out of what you come out of, bro. And like, for a man that's in the same space that's looking to make sure we just become better, I salute you, bro.
I
I
appreciate
salute everything that you're doing. I'm proud of you, because I've watched you go from where you was when you started with Dave and the podcast to now, and I'm like, yo, I'm inspired just by watching the journey, kid. So thank you for coming on this podcast. Thank you
Thanks
for
for
coming
having
in
me.
and sharing your story, bro. Like, this really, really, really blessed my life tonight, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate it for real. I really do appreciate it.
No doubt. Do me a favor, man. Let the people know how they can find you, how they can reach out to you, connect with you, bro.
Absolutely. So you can find me on all social platforms. Joevan J Palmer. That's JoevanJPalmer. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that good jazz. I tweet a lot, my thoughts, so they get a little, whatever I feel, I tweet it. I post what I need to post, and I same thing on Facebook. If you're a brother who's struggling, or if you're a sister who's even struggling, then you hit me up for sure. You can DM me, or you can go to my website. It's actually in the process of being rebuilt, so it's a little down, but you can still reach me, joevanjpalmer.com. But if anything, catch me on social media. That's where I'm most active at throughout the day. Shoot me a DM. Let's talk. Let's have a consultation. See if my coaching program is right for you, and let's start that healing journey. I believe we don't need to do anything alone. If you do it alone, you're a fool.
Right. Especially when there's so many others that have come before you and have went through it and have succeeded on their journeys. Like Will Smith says something like, there's nothing that's not written in the book. Like
Absolutely.
there's nothing that you're going through or will go through that hasn't been written about.
Mm-hmm.
So reach out, Kings. Like, my motto. Don't let your ego stand in the way of your destiny. Do not allow your pride to be the thing that stops you from meeting who your destiny is.
Mm,
Your future you depends on you right now doing what you need to do to get there.
absolutely.
So do yourself a favor. Let go the ego and the pride and step into your faith. Step into your truth. Step into your beliefs. Yo, this has been a phenomenal conversation. Kings, reach out to him. Women, reach out to him. Do not let this moment go past, because we truly don't understand when it's going to be that last moment on earth.
Yeah.
Make this last moment the best moment. And everybody out there, please continue to like, comment, and share this podcast. Give it to someone you like. Give it to someone you love. Hell, give it to somebody you don't like. Give it to somebody you hate. Just share it, because there's somebody out there that can be blessed by this kind of content and this information. It is my heart's duty. It is my job on this earth to make sure that we are more confident as men, kings, women, and queens on this earth. So with that being said, confidence is all about how you see yourself. But until the next time that we see you, be good to yourself and the ones around you. And if you can't be good to the ones around you, that's okay. Just get those people from around you. Yo, this is RJD, the Imperfect Gentleman, and this has been another dope episode of the Uniquely Confident Podcast. Y'all be blessed, because we will. Peace out.
Peace.